Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous good-looking friends. I've come to realize that my fascination with the ex-royals, Harry and Meghan, in relation to the dynamics that they have with their own families and their ability to lie with such straight faces in order to hurt the very people that they say that they love. Just when you think Harry couldn't get any lower, he does. I'm going to ask you to stick with me on this video and make it to the end so I can explain this photo and why we cannot trust this couple. In a last-ditch effort, Harry's barrister, David Sherborne, has said in written arguments that the late Queen was involved in discussions and authorization of an agreement, which was that members of the royal family would not pursue claims against NGN until after the conclusion of litigation over hacking. This is an attempt to save this case and get it to move to trial. I find this so shameful that they would use a dead woman to make up an excuse in order to move their agenda forward. How is this even possible to be admitted into court when the Queen is no longer here to defend herself? Something is fundamentally wrong with the UK court system to continue this charade that is going on with Harry and trying to win one over against the media. It blows my mind that the judge hasn't put his foot down to dismiss this case because it's wasting everybody's time. Harry has proved himself to be a cold, calculating liar. Let me remind you of how cold and calculating he and his wife were when Philip was dying in hospital. And they lied not only on the Oprah interview, but they lied also in the Netflix interview because their stories don't match. Take, for example, the retaliation that they took out on the family by continuing to do this interview while knowing Prince Philip was in the hospital, all because their patronages and their status had been taken away by the Queen.
He asked me to put it in writing. I put all the specifics in there, even the fact that we were planning on putting the announcement out on the 7th of January.
These two had a plan, and they were telling the Queen what they wanted and what they were going to do. So Prince Harry put in writing to his father his half in, half out solution, and then had a statement ready to be posted on January 7th.
The fact that we were planning on putting the announcement out on the 7th of January.
But in Netflix, they needed to backpedal and blame the media for leaking this information, so they had to hurry up and put out a post before things got crazy.
It became clear that the institution leaked the fact that we were going to be moving back to Canada.
You could feel the ticking clock at that point. So with our team, we decided we would put out a statement that we were going to be stepping back.
The fact that we were planning on putting the announcement out on the 7th of January.
Harry sat there at Netflix and watched his wife lie.
It's right there in black and white. You can see, here's our intention.
She says it right there. Here is our intention. Meghan forced the hand of the Queen, saying, this is what we want, this is how we want it, and you're going to give it to us. And when that didn't happen, the retaliation began. Sure, they blame the Queen's death, they blame Philip's death, they blame the family for their setbacks and their bad luck because they didn't get what they wanted. And because of that, all this trouble that they have had over the last few years, and Meghan and Harry were angry that it didn't play out the way that they expected it to play out. And because they were told no, ever since, they have been constantly attacking, thinking somehow that being nasty, deceitful, and dishonest is going to get them back the status that they gave up. Meghan and Harry were vengeful, and because their patronages were taken away, because things weren't going the way that they wanted, they moved forward with this interview with the intent on assaulting the family, especially knowing that they were down because Prince Philip was in the hospital and he was dying. They knew this, and they even said it on the Oprah interview. Let me show you how much of a liar both Oprah and Meghan are, and Harry sitting back, watching it all go down, being okay with it. In the same Oprah interview, when Meghan was in the chicken coop with Oprah, she specifically states that Prince Philip was in hospital.
I woke up earlier than H and saw a note from someone in our team in the UK saying that the Duke of Edinburgh had gone to the hospital.
Yeah.
But I just picked up the phone and I called the Queen.
This village idiot thought she was cool to say that she had a direct access line to the Queen like some bat phone. Meanwhile, watch Harry just stand there, look at her like, what are you talking about? But he says nothing.
Just to check in.
You check in.
You check in. Just like that's what we do.
And you see Meghan continuing to have verbal diarrhea while Harry's looking at her with three heads like, what are you talking about? Girl, shut up. The important thing to understand here are the dates, so you can spot the lie.
On February 19th, 2021, Buckingham Palace released a statement announcing it was agreed that Prince Harry and Meghan would not return as working members of the royal family. Harry and Meghan's royal patronages and Prince Harry's honorary military titles would be returned to the Queen. The Queen's statement was released after our interview took place. The Queen's statement was released after our interview took place.
I think that, the decision that, as of last week or whatever it was, is that they will be removing everything. I think that, the decision that, as of last week or whatever it was.
You know, this decision that was made about patronages and all of that was before anyone knew that we were sitting down with you.
Well, I heard a story that you're getting punished. Now, those were being taken away because you did sit down with them.
You know, this decision that was made about patronages and all of that was before anyone knew that we were sitting down with you. That was finalized before anyone even knew that we were going to sit down. So that's just not true. I woke up earlier than H and saw a note from someone in our team in the UK saying that the Duke of Edinburgh had gone to the hospital.
Yeah.
So here's where Oprah, Gail, Meghan all look like a bunch of fools because you have this dummy talking about finding out about Prince Philip entering into hospital. And here you have Oprah saying, yeah, the interview was done before the notice came out that they were losing their patronages and so forth. And here we are seeing them contradict themselves in this lie. See, it doesn't pay to lie because look at how easy you get caught. And they continue to keep looking like fools because none of them can keep their story straight because the actual truth is what we're all calling them out on. And they totally don't want to hear the truth because it exposes them as being psychopaths. How do you do this to your own family and sit there and be comfortable with your conscience?
And Harry decided that you were not going to take the picture that had been a part of the tradition for years. And
we weren't asked to take a picture. That's also part of the spin that was really damaging. I thought, can you just tell them the truth? Can you say to the world, you're not giving him a title and we want to keep him safe? And that if he's not a prince, then it's not part of the tradition?
The pressure of like the picture with Archie on the steps and are they going to do that? Are they not? And they said, right, but she's at Portland Hospital and the steps are at this hospital. And I said, okay, well, we could do a photo call in front of Portland Hospital. And they said, it's impossible. We couldn't barricade these streets off and it would create a threat for the emergency room entrance because that's where you would have to do this picture. And we said, okay, well then what's the hybrid? Can we give them more time at the castle? And everything internally was like, yes, yes, great, oh yes. At no point did someone go, absolutely not.
The picture that had been a part of the tradition for years. And
we weren't asked to take a picture.
It's astounding to me, the lies that this couple have told from the very beginning. You can go back and look at things that we didn't catch the first time around and say, oh my God, how did we miss this? So as I was doing this piece today and finishing off the video with this lie that was told about not being asked to take this photo versus you can't take this photo at this hospital and blah, blah, blah. And Meghan's talking about a geriatric pregnancy. And she had included this photo into this shitflix. And I just remember looking at it and saying, gosh, she looks awfully thin with that big, ridiculous bump. But I didn't think too far into it. However, revisiting it today, I recognize that this photo is also fraudulent. When you look at this photo, the dimensions look really bizarre. Starting, at the top, you look at the shower head and how it's peeking out over the actual shower door. But then when you look at where Meghan's standing and seeing this bizarre background, you wonder, is that part of the shower? Because actually, it doesn't look like it is part of the shower, but it might be, and it might just be really weirdly constructed, and where if you stepped into it, your head may pop out of the back. The dimension of the way that this looks is really bizarre. So, as I'm studying this photo even further and looking at the tiling in the background, I start then looking at the mirror. And would you know that there's objects in the mirror reflection that are not shown in the actual real photo Meghan's supposed to be taking? So, if you take a look at the sink, I mean, seriously, when you see it, you can't unsee it. If you made it to this point of the video and you like it so far, please help the kid out and give me a thumbs up so this can help spread to other people and create awareness. I truly appreciate it. Now, back to the story.
But I'd been really worried going into that labor because I'm older and I didn't know if I'd have to have a C-section. And I had a very long-standing relationship with my doctor.
This woman is one hell of a liar, and this photo is altered. So who's to say that that bump is also altered? I don't think it's real, in my opinion. And since we're on this subject about manipulation, in the Shiflix that they showed, the day after the Oprah interview had aired, they show Harry in an opening shot, and he's wearing a blue shirt and khaki pants. And immediately after, they cut to the next shot of Meghan receiving a text from Beyonce saying how brave she is. And Meghan's like, I can't believe that Beyonce knows who I am. Like, really, I doubt that Beyonce really texted her, but, you know, there she is. Then, to deceive the audience, they put a filler clip in of Prince William saying, no, we're not a racist family. And then they cut back to this clip in where Prince Harry shows Meghan the text that was received allegedly by Prince William. And Meghan's on the phone with Tyler Perry and was like, H just got a text from his brother. Then they get up and they hug. But I want you to notice that Harry is wearing a blue shirt. Well, what happened to that blue shirt in the scene before? So if this is supposed to be the day after the Oprah interview aired, you notice the desk has different items on it. So it does look like this was filmed at two separate times. You see, they lied about this too. What I then realized is that this was a day of filming, and Meghan had several costume changes, and I'll leave it at that. So they want us to believe in the next scene that it's Easter, April 4th, 2021. Meghan comes out with her beach ball, and they are about to go. I'm not sure if they were hiding eggs or if they were putting sticks up, but Doria is with them, and there's no Archie. But anyhow, notice that Prince Harry is wearing a black shirt. Also, this is the office that we normally see them film in, just coming from the other direction. The next scene is showing the passing of Prince Philip, which was April 9th, 2021. We switch back to Harry, and he's wearing this black shirt. But also, if you notice, he doesn't look too upset that his grandfather just passed away.
My grandfather always cruised around in a black taxi in London, so all of the black taxis have lined up all the way down the Mall outside Buckingham Palace. I don't know if you can see it.
And if you notice, the desk has a whole bunch of stuff on it, as when Meghan got her message from Beyonce. And Harry is wearing that black shirt and doesn't look too upset. And there enters in Meghan with her beach ball and her hair done a little bit different. I'm sure hair and makeup helped her out in between scenes or costume changes. I can't believe that Harry went through this ridiculous plan and fraud to deceive the whole world and literally sit there while attacking his own family and thinks he's like in the right for doing what he did. They have lied repetitively. This is what's fascinating about this couple, is the fact that they are such vile human beings, and they want the world to see them as these kind, compassionate humanitarians. That's why people talk about them, is because you wonder how human beings like this exist in the world. And finally, what sealed it for me to show that this whole thing was staged is not only the fake bump and the whoever that child may be, but Harry's supposed to be leaving for the airport to go to this funeral. And from my understanding, there's a certain protocol and dress code for a royal member when somebody in the family dies. So Harry wearing a black tie but no black pants and no black shoes does look off. Something tells me that this was just a shot that they needed to get to complete this false narrative that they were trying to sell. I'm sorry, but the level of deceit that is in everything that they have done so far is mind-blowing to me. So Meghan is at it once again with new pictures being released today of allegedly Prince Harry and some child. I ran these photos that were posted in page 6, and it turns out that they were absolutely doctored based off of reading the photo forensic analysis. The dead giveaway showing that these photos were doctored is, as you can see where the arrows are, that section of white where Harry's face is supposed to be, and then also in the other photo, the second photo on the right is a little bit more clear because you can see a clean-cut line. You can see the shading of the white where the face shows that the photo has been altered. If you notice, the rest of the people in the photo, none of their faces has this kind of white shading, and that's just a dead giveaway that they were altered. Also, I don't know how stupid they think people are, but Harry's bodyguards are nowhere to be found in this group of people. And I find that kind of odd since he is supposed to be with his child and there are no people surrounding him or protecting him. This is getting so ridiculous. And at this point, anything that they do put forward that could possibly be real, who's to say that anybody's going to believe them now? I certainly don't. But when they keep doing shit like this, it makes you wonder what is really going on with these two. And of course, Archie and Meghan are nowhere to be found. I mean, everything is so bizarre and off with this couple. I guarantee there are a lot more lies that are out there that are yet to be found. And I think that that's what makes this so fascinating for me. I mean, I know that they're in the public space every single day, but I enjoy calling out the lies, the deceit, because they really want to push themselves onto the world as these kind, compassionate humanitarians, when in actuality, this is evil walking the earth. And that's just my opinion. But what do you guys think? Definitely leave your thoughts below. And as always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
I was such a fraud.